training, I was always sleeping. You know, back then our nutrition, and this is going to make you laugh, this will show you how old I am. Our post-workout was a full-strength can of Coke and a Mars bar within 30 minutes of training to get the sugars and everything in. There's no Diet Cokes around. There was nothing around like that. That was the studies back then, was having a full-strength can of Coke and a Mars bar within 30 minutes of strenuous training. Now you look at how much nutrition and performance products have advanced. So I remember our team bus when I was playing in the UK, the back kitchen was full of chocolates and soft or pop. Okay, that was what in the back to get those sugars and everything back into us that we'd done through all the training and all the games we were playing. So fast forward, when I finished playing through injuries, I got into the corporate world. Okay, and then 7 years ago, I made a decision and a choice that actually the environment really affected my health. I put on weight and I lost so much energy. I just was always sleeping. I just was in this zombie mode for years. And I was able to get out of that environment, and I went back to my old training grounds. I was doing the stairs. I was doing as much as I could like I used to when I was playing football, and I just could not get the weight off. 12 months, I could not get the weight off. And then Jeff Beebe, I'd met a few years earlier, introduced me to Isogenics, knew that this state that I had with my health and not being able to get this weight off was affecting my mental health. Okay, I was depressed, I was down, and I just thought maybe this is it. I've hit 50 odd years old, and this was what it was going to be. And it wasn't me. Everyone knows me. I've always tried to be healthy and energetic. So Jeff just said this to me: try this product for 30 days, get it into your system, and if you're not happy, you get your money back. Just trust me for 30 days. And within 1 week, I'd lost a couple of kilos, which is about 4.5 to 5 pounds. My energy was up, my sleep was better, and I went, wow, this is pretty cool. After week 2, I'd lost another couple of kilos, which is probably close to 10 pounds. I was feeling great. I was sleeping better. My energy was up again. I was actually sleeping less for more energy. And I went, okay, Jeff, talk to me about the business. 12 months on, you know, you've seen the result. I've lost, 38 pounds. I've put on lean muscle, and hand on my heart, I've done 0 extra exercise. The difference has been that my body's been flooded with good nutrition. Yes, I use the amped range, the Isoline Pro, the pre and post workouts, but the system I use is exactly the same as someone's system that just wants to use weight. So anyone on this call, I start with the Isoline Pro shake. I have the cleanse 4 days a month, and I use Ionics every day. Then I have my accelerator and my flush pills. That's it. That's my base system. And then I have the snacks and the pre and post workouts and things like that. So guys, the same system I'm using to build lean muscle and to cut up is exactly the same system as everybody uses. And then we just adjust it from there. So it's changed my life. It's given me so much energy. I sleep probably only 6 hours a day now. I used to have to sleep 8 or more and still wake up as though I needed more sleep, and I was still tired. I still exercise on my cleanse days. Nothing changes for me. So it's honestly just changed my life. And the good thing is I'm setting an example for my children and my grandchildren. That's the big thing that I see. My granddaughter says, Granddad, you got so much energy. Okay. Granddad's always busy. She's only 3 years old, but she sees already. Granddad's always never sits down. It's amazing. My son and my daughter are exactly the same. From that discipline and from that, what I'm setting the example for them. My daughter's a triathlete. My son's in the kickboxing in the gym, and they're very healthy and very fit. Since they've got onto the system, they've seen a huge difference in their results as well. And they're in their 20s. So same system that I'm using, the same system they're using, all for weight management, energy, better sleep, stress levels. I can't say enough. And from the business side of things, unfortunately, things happen in life again. My daughter had a head-on car accident 2 weeks ago. She's okay. Didn't get hurt too bad, but the car was written off. But because of the income from Isogenics, part of that income, I was able to go out and buy her a new car. A car. So I wouldn't have been able to do that without the income from Isogenics. And all I've done is use the product and share my results. People have come to me and said, what are you doing? What changed? It's that simple, guys. So I can't say it enough. And from a performance point of view and for athletes, pro athletes are looking for the 5%. The 5%. When you get to the elite level, you're looking for 1% advantage. And I'll give you an example. You look at a marathon race. Okay, it's 42 kilometers, 42,000 meters. whenever you see an Olympic event for the marathon, would you agree the bloke who finishes, or the person who finishes first, the person coming second is always in the arena, generally always in the arena. The difference between first and second, because that running track in the arena is 400 meters. That's less than 1% of that total distance. So the difference between first and second is less than 1%. So what is that 1%er, that person that won the race against the person who comes second, what were they doing? And I know for a fact these performance products and the AMP range gives you way more than 1%. So as an elite athlete, if you can find 5, 10%, man, the results will come. Okay? And it's the same thing as a pro athlete myself. You've got to apply your trade every day. Apply your trade every day. Do extra every day, just like a pro athlete. When training finishes, I used to always go out and kick a ball against the brick wall. Find someone else to kick a ball, practice some techniques, do something extra because I wanted more than what the team I was in. I wanted to go somewhere. So guys, thanks very much for your time. All I can say for any guests that are on the call here today, try the product for 30 days, get it in your system, and if you're not happy, you get your money back. It's that simple. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Mark. Oh my God, that is, I knew part of your story. I didn't know the whole detail, and I'm so glad your daughter is okay. And I totally can relate with, you know, the financial part of it. But to hear you as an athlete, you know, you always, people always say, you know, guys, it's like, oh, I'm not going to drink a shake. I need to eat my meat and my protein, and I need to, you know, eat all this stuff. And right. And you've done all that, and you've drank Coke and ate Mars bar. Like, seriously? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I love your analogy as far as the marathon and the, you know, the marathon runner and the 1%. And that's what it is. You're getting that edge over everyone because you're giving your body all the nutrition it needs. It's not about the calories. It's not about, it's a symbiotic relationship. And I love the fact that, you know, you mentioned cleansing, because that Cleanse for Life just removes all those toxins. So when you're not toxic, it's like a filter. If your car filter is clean, then your car runs better. If you're, you know, if your bodies are detox, then it can function a whole lot better. So thank you so much. Yeah. And yeah, I'm so glad your whole family's on it. I can relate. I have my kids on it, and it's so amazing to be able to share that with our family. You know, you did it for yourself because you wanted that extra edge and to take it to the next level, and your transformation is amazing. You know, I bet you have people looking at you like, you're not a grandpa, just like Jeff, you know, like you're people confuse you and Jeff all the time. I know, like, first time I saw you, I was like, wait, is that Jeff? No, there's not Jeff. Mark. So thank you. So
it's quite funny. It's quite funny when I'm in the States, they go, geez, you look like Jeff Beebe. But when I'm here, they go, geez, Jeff Beebe looks like you.
Yay. Yeah, he looks like you. That's it. That's beautiful. I can't wait to, like, you know, hopefully Jeff and Debbie, maybe we can have a team training in Australia one day, right? And then we can come out there and, yeah, right, let's go. So thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, go ahead and mute yourself. And all right, without further ado, let me do a whole nother share screen here. And I am going to, now that's your screen. I need this one. No, not that one. That's my Facebook. Sorry. This is not it either. Hello. Okay. This is what I need. Here we go. Let me move this out of the way. And here we have, our products are backed by scientific research. You know, they give you 56% more weight loss, 67% more fat loss, twice as much visceral fat loss. So that's why Mark and everyone you're going to hear on this Zoom and everyone that is on the product, and we cannot, once we run it, we can't stop talking about it, because it gives us that edge. It gives us that extra that our body needs to do what it's supposed to be doing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Jet. Jet, are you ready? Are you there, beautiful? I would love to for you to unmute. Now, Jet is one of our teammates who lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she's been with our program for a little over a year. She's happily married for over 6 years, and she is been in the Air Force for over 8 years. She kicks ass, sorry, literally, like martial arts ass. And she also used to be a restaurant manager, and now it's finally switched over and became a fitness coach. So how amazing is it? She's not she changed her nutrition, and all of a sudden she changed her life and her career. So Jet Beautiful, can you unmute yourself and let's see what you got to say. I would love to hear your story.
All right. Thank you so much, Christina. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I just want to thank you all for being here. And Mark, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing your story. And I'm really glad your daughter is doing okay. And that was really probably very scary, but how awesome that you were able to come out of a great situation like that, or with a great situation like that. So my story starts a little over a year ago. Like Christina said, I was in the Air Force for 8 years, and then when I left service, I became a restaurant manager. Restaurant management demands a lot of hours. I was working probably 55 hours a week when I got started with Isagenix. But before that, I'm going to back up just a little bit because the pre-story really sets the tone for how I started my Isagenix journey. On New Year's Day 2019, I was faced with a pretty serious and scary situation. My husband, who I love dearly, ended up in the emergency room with double pneumonia and sepsis. So what happened was the infection left his lungs and flooded his blood, and his body was so toxic because of this infection, this widespread infection, he was at risk for systemic organ failure. So one system would have started shutting down, and that would have led to a cascade body failure. This was actually largely in part due to the lifestyle we were leading. We were drinking a lot, very heavily. You can actually see that in my before and after. You can see how red and flushed my body was from the amount of alcohol we were consuming. So when he got sick, we both together and independently made the decisions necessary to decide to get healthy. And I was telling my great friend Elizabeth about this really scary situation. And I was afraid about how we were going to pay for medical bills. And she had tried to show me Isagenix before, and I said, no, thank you. And she's like, well, you know, I'm starting to make a little bit of money on the side with this thing. Maybe you should try it. And I was like, sure, why not? I'll do it. 4 days later, my box came, and within a week, I was just feeling like a completely different person. Facebook Memories is actually showing me that time of my life right now, and seeing the person I've become, like physically shrink, but like internally grow, has been so mind-boggling. Like, because a year ago, I was really doubtful of the things I could and couldn't do. And I realized a lot of that stemmed from some kind of body dysmorphia. You know, I didn't feel like I was strong. I didn't feel like I could accomplish things because I wasn't comfortable within my body. And as the weight started to come off, I started to get more confident, and I started to believe that I deserved to be treated better by people in my life. And I believed that I could do more than be this slave to this machine that was making me so unhappy, because now I was a sober person and I was changing my life with this nutrition, and I was losing weight, and I was working in a bar for 55 hours a week, every week. And it was just so mentally devastating. And so I reached out and I said, I want something more from my life. What's out there? And I found, through literally, I swear, just like universal rearrangement, the owner of this gym came into the bar where I was managing, and we struck up a conversation, and he offered me a job. And that job has allowed me to change more people's lives by being there and being an example, because now they think, you know, they see me now and they see me doing reps now, and they make me think that, or they maybe think that I've always been like this. And then I get to tell my story and be like, I just literally did this, and I can help you do it too. And it's really just been insanely amazing, the amount of growth that I've had. And I've been able to also help my husband on his end, because he has the opposite problem and needs to gain weight. And so we've been adding the Isoline Pro Shake and Ionics and some key elements to his already like crammed full diet. I try to get him to eat as much as possible so he can put on healthy, lean muscle mass. And now that I've achieved the weight loss part I want, my goal is to achieve 2% more muscle gains by March 31st. And I actually am moving closer to that every week. And that's due to this system. This system has changed not just my body, but my mentality around how I want my life to be. And guys, get with the person who directed you to this video because they want to help change your life for the better. That's all they want, whether it's through weight loss, muscle gain, financial gain. There is nothing to lose because like Mark said, if you don't absolutely love this, we help get you your money back. There is no risk of negative side effects here, guys. Science has proven it. Thousands of testimonies have proven it. Now it's your turn. Christina, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. Girl, that's literally all I got. Thank you so much, guys.
I love you from the bottom of my heart, and you're making. I'm sure I'm not the only one, having tears are here. It's so incredible. Like, I always say it's like if I knew what isogenics could do for my life, I would have paid 10 times as much as I originally did, right? Like, you can't put it into words, and we're here pouring our hearts out and saying, hey, we're all crazy. We all drank the good Kool-Aid. and someone needs to gain weight and they drink the same thing, but someone that needs to lose weight, and we're all cleansing and we're all doing all this stuff and we're all on the same program. And it's like, how is that possible? It's like, well, because our bodies know what they're doing. And I love how your body has endured so much, and physically, through your training, through your, and you're very educated. I mean, you have a degree in what is it, marketing, right? So business, right? So I feel like, people out there, they're like, oh, I have this and I have that and I have this, and like, I'm not going to just sell shakes for a living, or I'm not going to change. It's not about changing shakes, selling shakes. It's not about this. It's about impacting lives. Like, I can't imagine, like, I always think back, and whenever I feel like, oh, isogenics, whatever, sometimes you're like, oh my God, isogenics. I've been in it for 5-6 years now, right? So it's like, I think of what my life was before isogenics, and you just poured your heart out and told us what your life was before isogenics. That is a life that most people now have. And to know that with one system, yes, that comes, like, you get your sexy back or you get your money back, right? You can't go wrong, right? It's like, come on. It's like go into your favorite restaurant and it says, hey, for the next 30 days, eat here, breakfast and lunch. You can do your own dinner or whatever. You choose two meals. And then it says, if you don't feel amazing, if you don't, we'll give you all your money back. Like, what restaurant would do that, right? Like,
and it gets delivered to your door.
Right. You save money on gas. You don't have to travel. You save, and it's like $3 for a meal replacement. Like, come on, guys. It's like, there's nothing out there. People always say, it's like, you're gonna be drinking shakes for the rest of your life. I'm like, hey, yes. You tell me where I can go for $3 and get delivered to my door a fully balanced, fully nutritional meal, and I'll eat that. I'll consider it. I don't think I will, but I'll consider it.
And when I was in the restaurants, there was no time to eat, but I could walk around with this for 2 seconds and I could take a couple sips, and that kept the hangry away. Because when the restaurant manager's hangry, everybody's angry. Like,
I own the restaurant. I know.
Nobody wants that because everybody else suffers and it wasn't fun. But this was the solution to that.
And I gotta tell you something else. I had a girl that I loved how you change your life and you quit drinking, and you realize what that can do for you. And I know there's a lot of people out there that use alcohol as an escape from their daily things. And I had a lady who did the program, and after the 30 days she went to have a beer. She's like, I'm gonna celebrate. I was strict for 30 days. You're gonna love this. So the day that night, she calls me from the bar drunk after one beer, and she says, I've worked my entire life to drink everyone under the table, and I gave you 30 days, and now one beer gets me pardon my French, but that's what happens when our body detox. Like, it doesn't want that stuff anymore. So I love you. Thank you so much for
Thank
for
you.
sharing. And I'm gonna go ahead and let me do the screen sharing again if I can get to it. Share, screen sharing, and here we go. Max this out. All right, so like we were talking about, we have solutions for weight loss, for performance, for vitality and well-being. We also have personal care solutions, so you know your skin can look great, and we also have financial wellness. And you've heard from Mark how he was able to, you know, help his daughter replace her vehicle after the injury. You heard how Jet is able to, you know, switch jobs, and how she's able to help on so many levels and help so many people out there, and that in turn turns into a financial gain, right? You lose the weight and you gain the money. Like, hello, we get paid to look fabulous, right? And so without further ado, and I mean this, I'm gonna just go in about a little bit more. So need for money. In the US, 39 million people receive food assistance. The debt is skyrocketed, healthcare cost is on the rising, right? People are looking for something different, right? And most people have a side hustle, whether it's online selling, renting the rooms in the house, you know, giving rides, trading ideas. The bad part about it is they still trade time for money. With Isogenics, you're in the business for yourself, but not by yourself. You have a team, and together, and the person that got you on here, the person that invited you could and will be able to share more of this with you. There's a lot of reasons why we should do network marketing. It's time flexibility, availability to work from anywhere, training and support for free, positive culture. You know, we're all drank the Kool-Aid, we're all happy. And you know, I didn't know, except for Debbie, I didn't know any of these other people that are on here. Like, it's just crazy because Debbie said yes, and then she told me, I now have all these people all over the world. And I know if I call Mark and say, hey, Mark, I'm coming to Australia, he'd be like, come on down. And if he comes to North Carolina, hey, you know where I'm at, right? And there's also no caps on your earning potential. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to the beautiful Renee. So Renee is, I love her story because she has, she's a hairstylist, and she does amazing job. she uses only natural products. I mean, she's just holistic approach in life on so many levels. She's been married to her beautiful handsome husband Mike for 32 years this month. Oh my gosh. She's a mama and a grandma, and once again, you know, we found the magic for a healthy aging, right? She does not look definitely like she's a grandma, and neither did Mark. And I hope I never do either when I'm a grandma. I know Jeff and Debbie don't either. And so she's had some hardships in her life that have, because of this financial opportunity, she was able to have a better life. That's all I can say about it. So I'm gonna stop the share and I'm gonna let Renee go on. And Renee, beautiful, it's your turn.
Hi guys. Hey, thank you so much, Christina. I really appreciate that so much.
I love you.
Like you said, I'm so thankful the BBs said yes so we could all become friends and have such a good time together. So, and Mark and Jet, oh my gosh, you guys. So I guess we'll start this, like the picture that you guys saw of myself prior to now was, I've been doing this about 4.5 years, and 4.5 years ago, when Jeff and Debbie introduced this to me, they didn't really know what I was going through. I had just closed my hair salon. It was a large salon in my town, very successful at that point. I was running a nonprofit out here as the board president for years, and I was stressed out to the T. I was exhausted. I was physically and financially bankrupt. People had no idea. You know, we all put on those masks, right? So everybody thinks, oh, she's so happy. She must be successful. Her salon's kicking butt. But they didn't know everybody was making money but us. And that's, you know, what a lot of people don't think about when they're looking at a brick and mortar business, right? You know, Christina, your family knows it as well. So, you know, we ended up closing that business, and I was working at another hair salon, and that's when Jeff and Debbie came in and met me. And I just was foggy headed. I was fluffy, puffy. I just wasn't feeling good. I had depression. And they talked to me about this opportunity of like, just put these products in your body. And I thought I already knew everything and I was already eating clean and I don't need your stuff. And little did I know that once I did put them in my body, in about 4 days, my husband said, whatever you're doing, don't stop that. So here I am 4.5 years later. You guys, the impact it's had on my life, I can't even tell you. You know, probably about 2 months after I started, I was in a car accident. I was hit by a drunk driver in my community, and it totaled my car, totaled me. And I didn't know. I didn't have a backup plan. I was scared to death. I had no idea what I was going to do. I still had to pay my salon rent. I still had to pay my bills. I still had, you know, family to take care of. And I was a mess. I had concussions and nerve damage that I still deal with. And because I had shared this opportunity with a few people, because I felt good, because I'm not selfish, just like if we had a great movie or restaurant, we would talk about it, right? So that's what I did. People just asked. I hadn't even really lost a bunch of weight or anything yet, but people were coming to me and saying, whatever you're doing is awesome. We want to know about it. So just tells you I must have been quite a mess. So thank goodness I already had that. So it paid my rent at the salon. I didn't have to worry about that. My business was cut in half. I still to this day can't do the work I used to do. Last October, my husband was laid off after 29 years in the same company, same industry, and at the age of 58. We'd never dealt with this before. We didn't know how to deal with this, and nobody was calling. And that was in October, so prior to Christmas. Companies don't hire that time of year. We didn't know what it was like to deal with this. We thought, no brainer. He's great at what he does. He's going to be picked up no time. So 5 months passed, and each month, you know, we'd start talking about bills. How are we going to do this? And again, my business had slowed down, but because of Isogenics, because of the opportunity, because we had shared with some people, and because they felt amazing, my mortgage was paid every month, you guys. We never had to tap into savings. You don't want to start tapping into savings now, and it wasn't like it was a mountain of money in the first place. As I mentioned, when you close a business, sometimes you got to file bankruptcy. So we were physically and financially, literally bankrupt. And so in this opportunity, my mortgage was paid, our bills were paid. That took immense stress off my household. I watched my husband sit there. I saw the depression kicking in. I saw the stress starting to affect him. I didn't want to lose my husband to that. I watched a friend of mine die from stress last year. You don't want that. And the thing is, you guys, talk to your hairdressers, talk to people like me, because we don't have a backup plan. We don't have the luxury of taking off work to heal our bodies. That's why I still deal with the pain I have now, because I couldn't take off work. So think about these things. We have families. Many of us are grandparents. Many of us are parents. Whatever your situation is, if somebody needed you today to take time off work to go take care of your mom, take care of your sibling, take care of your family, or you got injured or you got sick, could you do that? I've had to make those tough decisions. You guys, I've lost my family. And I'll just tell you something, I don't share it very often, but Mike and I lost our son 18 years ago. He was 17. We were in a position, we didn't know how we were going to pay for that. That's the last thing you should have to worry about. How am I going to pay for a funeral? How am I going to take time off work? How am I going to do those things? So think about your plan B. I don't want to go drive Uber tonight. I know my friend Jet gets out there and drives. She's amazing. She's a lot younger than me. But, you know, it's like you just don't know what life's going to throw at you. And I am so very grateful that not only do I have the health to keep up with my grandson, I can go ride motorcycles. I can go choose to race. I'm going to jump out of an airplane this year with my girlfriend, Tracy. I'm going to live life and show people that age is just a number. So what are you going to do? Are you living your life? Are you truly living your life? So I love you guys.
Thank you so much, Renee. Mwah. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I can so relate to this on so many levels because I did have to make that same decision. And I got to share my story on here one of these days. Debbie's being on my butt about it, but
Yes.
most of you know, I lost my mom about 3 years ago, and I was 2 years into isogenics. And if it hadn't been for me getting paid with isogenics, I wouldn't have been able to stay home with my mom. And I didn't take a pay cut. Like, we didn't lose our house or our cars or anything else because we still had income coming in. And that's something that people don't realize. And I love the fact that, you know, you brought it up from work perspective, from family emergencies, from all those things. You hear it every day. And we have the possibility, you know, if someone has a why, we have the how. It doesn't matter what it is they want. If they just want to make a car payment, if they just want to make a college tuition, if they just want to buy Starbucks, right, Debbie? We can all do that, and there's no limit. And I love it, and thank you so much for sharing. And I hope you feel better, your shoulder heals better, because I know you know, like you said, you had to go back to work way too soon. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody should have to do that.
Nope.
Thank you. I love you so much.
I love you all.
I'm going to share a quick slide again with you guys, just to kind of show you, but not the Zoom, not that. Why can't I keep doing this? Okay, so let me move this. Okay, so we have a compensation plan that is better than anything else out there. I mean, our co-founders, Jim and Kathy Coover, they have over 50 years of experience in network marketing, and they've gone to top of other companies. They know what works and what doesn't, and they've made it so this is the best compensation plan out there. I mean, I was fortunate enough to not have to be in a different network marketing prior to this, and this is it. I came in with a Rolls Royce of network marketing. I didn't have to, but it's very simple. We get paid daily, weekly, and monthly. I mean, how awesome is that? I remember the weekly pay, which is every Monday. Hello, we all celebrate Mondays. I was at my mom's funeral, and I can never, every Monday when my phone goes ding, I remember that. I was at my mom's funeral, and I was in line, and I was crying, and my phone goes ding, and I just looked down, and it was my Isabel. It's like, you got paid, you know, my little message. And I got paid thousands of dollars, and I had stayed home with my mom for months and months and months and months, and I still got paid on the day of her funeral. Like that to me, it's insane. Okay. Like Debbie put on the messages, you share, they share, repeat. We don't sell anything. We share stories. We share our experiences. We share what Isogenics has done for us. And just like you would recommend a hairstylist or a movie or a restaurant or anything like that, you would recommend Isogenics. And that's all there is to it. You start, and it starts very simple. It's you share with 2 friends, just like Mark said, he shared with his, with his kids. For me, it was, my mom and my brother's girlfriend at the time. Before I knew it, I started getting paid. So we have the daily, the weekly, the monthly, quarterly. We have all kinds of bonuses, especially now. Oh my gosh, like so many bonuses on the table. This might be a little much for some, but trust me, the person that got you on here will be able to explain it. You too can live your ideal life. If not now, then when? And this is one of my favorite. Don't expect to see a change if you don't make one. So who's ready to make a change? I love you guys. Thank you so much I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to go back to this. And I'm going to unmute every single one of you guys, because I want all of us to give all the loves to our sharers today. And go ahead and jump in. And how many of you have shed some tears?
Woo! Me. I should be excited about that for me.
What a phenomenal job, Christina.